Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell the truth about silver. Today is Monday, the 16th of March, 2020, and we're producing this emergency bulletin because what has happened overnight and again in the early hours of this morning. Now, yesterday, we published a video entitled Central Banks Cut Rates, but Is It Enough? Where we basically concluded that the answer is no, and that the Fed would be expected to cut rates on Wednesday by 0.5%, and possibly, but according to a number of commentators and financial analysts, by as much as 1%. Well, yesterday evening, in another surprise move, the Fed cut rates by a full 1%. Now, the actual deduction was not surprising, just the timing, some 2.5 days earlier than expected. There again, we did point out previously that the global situation is more serious than many believe, and that the Fed wants to jump ahead of the expectation curve, so to speak. To see how serious the situation is becoming globally, please go to our Richard and Greg channel and view our latest video, which we put up yesterday evening. Anyway, the reaction this morning in the gold and silver space is very much as anticipated. Initially, both precious metals rose, and then, very abruptly, gold maintained its rise, well, barely, and silver fell. What is again apparent is that the fall in silver prices are so dramatic that at the time of writing, which is 9:45 GMT, the gold to silver ratio has risen to an astronomical 119 to 1. In yesterday's video, we concluded with these words. Quote, gold to us is becoming attractive again. And silver, not so, quite yet, though offers better value than it did a few days ago. Now, currently in US dollar terms, gold is standing at $1,531, up $2. Losing a little bit of the gain it achieved immediately on opening. And silver has collapsed a further $1.91, falling below $13 an ounce, and is standing at $12.84. A 12.95% fall, and creating a gold to silver ratio of 119 to 1, even higher than we expected this disparity to reach. And we've been quoting much higher gold to silver ratios than anyone else, absolutely than anyone else on YouTube or the internet or any financial journalist even could imagine. We also knew something was wrong because Mike Maloney, who tends to put out a video a week, is now producing one daily. And he and David Morgan and co. and their followers are all commenting on how cheap silver is. Whenever this happens, one really does have to ask the question why. Now, we admit, below $13 is lower than even our expectations, and we were the most bearish of all the channels. But when you get the likes of Apple stores closing down for at least 2 weeks worldwide, and people being advised not to go out and to stay at home, and even my shoe manufacturer, as I have them made, sending me emails discounting his prices by up to 50%. And this is a firm which really, very rarely reduces by more than 10%. And that's normally at Christmas or New Year. We know that something is amiss and that the global economy is already being hit hard. Now, we suspect that the silver fall has been overdone slightly and that there may be a slight recovery, but that could be just very short term. Now, this evening, we shall produce another video as we need to speak with dealers during the course of the day and see how the land really lies. So we are now either faced with an amazing opportunity to buy silver, or it's a warning that things are going to get even worse. Now, either way, if you are tempted to buy silver today, our serious caution to you is to avoid those places which are charging hefty premiums. There are a number of those locations and dealers, and frankly, if you pay those premiums, it may be some time before you can get them back. Look for prices close to spot, even if it's scrap silver at present, as it would be tragic if you were to pay a $5 or $6 or in some cases $7 an ounce premium, only to find the prices fall by a further $1 or $2, and then you find yourself making a 40 to 50% loss, which could actually take then a year or more to overcome. Also, much is being made of the US Mint running out of silver eagles. Now, this is not necessarily the public buying, but we suspect the dealers have purchased all of the stock, who are now charging these hefty premiums. They will have lost money on holdings as silver prices have fallen, and by purchasing all available stock from the mint, they can create the impression of scarcity, and people like you and us could be tempted to pay the premiums they're now demanding. This is a rigged game just as much as the COMEX. It's just that the overall figures are smaller. You could very well find yourselves buying up stocks at huge premiums, and then perhaps 6 months down the road, find there is a glut then available, selling at only $1 or $2 premium. And then you have to hope that silver prices have recovered fully by then, plus $3 or $4 to cover the excess premiums you have paid, just to break even. So please be warned, and also be warned, who are you going to sell those silver dollars even at a $1 or $2 premium to? You have to hope not everyone who buys in panic then decides to sell all at the same time. Otherwise, you will then just obtain the scrap value of silver, which is considerably lower again. So be very cautious in your buying. Do not be tempted to panic. This is not to say you shouldn't purchase any, but do not make the assumption, especially as the global economic situation is still unknown and has not been declared with full transparency and won't be for some time yet. So we do issue that warning. Please heed it. Whether you do or don't, it's entirely up to you, but at least we have put it out there. So do not be panicked by what is happening and stay tuned. We shall produce as many bulletins as we can as circumstances change. We just wish to remind you what we stated in yesterday's video. Central banks are embarking on interest rate cuts, asset purchases, currency interventions, and liquidity injections. Our advice or recommendation yesterday would be to ensure that you're holding a degree of cash in physical form and a range of precious metals, but not by overpaying for them. We would certainly stock up on food, especially those foods that can last for a lengthy period of time, and typical medicines, and my favourite subject, toilet rolls and the like. This could be a really bumpy ride. It's been bumpy already. But if governments and central banks work together, and it appears that they are, they can overcome this situation. But if they do not, or they fail, then we are looking to the face of a much darker and poorer time ahead. So, in the meantime, please do follow our Richard and Greg channel, as well as this one. Not forgetting to subscribe to each and pressing the bell sign so that you are notified of new videos as and when they are published. Thank you for listening, and do watch out for the video that we produce this evening. We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. Please ensure that you have subscribed to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of any future videos. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe either as a free or paying member for regular email updates and offers. Disclaimer: Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.